Now, today we're going to be talking about the pressure of being strong. You know how they say strong black woman, strong independent woman. Let me inform you right now, I am not strong. I am not strong. In fact, I am weak. In fact, I am fragile. If you touch me like this, I'm going to crumble, because that stereotype of being a strong woman or being a strong person, always being the rock for everyone in the family, it can be a bit draining when there's always an expectation for you to come through. There's always an expectation for you to be everybody's rock, but who's there for you? And the thing with this being strong for everyone, I see it most of the time with like firstborn children, with the first boy in a family, that cultural conditioning of you're responsible for your siblings, but then your siblings have known no responsibility ever since, because you've always been responsible for them. So even in adulthood, even when you're pursuing your own life, your own goals, trying to live your life, they are still dependent on you, because that's your role. You're the strong one, you're the dependable one, you're the responsible one. Why are you trying to act brand new? But it can be very draining, because when are you all going to grow up? When are you guys going to, do some different? I saw BN, okay, I go through BN's reposts. He has the funny reposts. And he had reposted this video where someone is talking about how African parents, a lot of African parents expect the wealth to trickle from down to up. Like, they don't think of, I am building generational wealth so that my children don't suffer. They think of, I am going to have many children, and then one of them is going to take us out of poverty, which is such a horrible way to live, and such a wrong way to like thrust that responsibility on one person. They grew up with the responsibility of a whole family of 11 children, 10 with failed dreams, and 2 parents, all with their hands out. I am not strong.
Yep, another major one that sent me off. It sent me somewhere.
It took you somewhere.
I don't like it. Another one is like being seen as weak is a problem. Like, oftentimes people just normally chalk it up to, like, I've even seen some. Have you seen this new? Well, not new. Have you seen this new trend of therapists being very interesting? Like, I saw this one girl on TikTok, and she said that she went to a therapist for the first time, and she was telling this therapist how she struggled with like her appearance and some parts of her face and her body that she's never been happy with, and they bring a lot of insecurity and low self-esteem on her, to the point where she's actually gone online and tried to see what she can do to alter her face and alter her body and do all that. And the therapist was like, all right, just Google the best one. Google the best doctors and find out exactly how much they charge. Keep it moving. Okay? She's like, wait, what? And when she continued to say, like, wait, no, I can't do that, she's like, yeah, and that's the reason why I'm here. I'm a therapist. I'm not going to go and try and be a model when I know the kind of face I have. Okay. Which is such a stark, direct opposite of what you expect. You expect someone to be empathetic. I'm paying you. Empathize with me. I'm paying you to try and help me get to the root cause of the issue, not to give me a solution for something that will be like the end all be all.
Or validate my biggest insecurity.
Yes. She continued to actually tell this therapist that she's had a neurological issue, like there's something up with her brain, and she's been going to doctor after doctor after doctor, and none of them are giving her a solution. She's like, wait, what was the neurological issue again? Grabs her computer, goes taka 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 taka. She's like, all right, you can book an appointment with this doctor. He's the best, and he's going to be really excited because it's a new case, something he hasn't seen in a while. They're probably going to be very excited. Just book an appointment with them. Go and see them. She's like, why are you trying to invalidate the fact that it took me 6 months for me to get an appointment with one doctor, and now you're making it look like it's super easy? It's like I am the one who chose not to get into it and not to face this head on. Why are you making it look like I'm doing nothing? Like, I've been doing nothing this whole time. And of course, this brings the question of, sometimes it's an overcorrection of you're weak and you go to someone for empathy and they're like, they really do empathize with you. But sometimes it's also a complete direct opposite, where you tell someone your problem and they're like, but you wanna kufanya hizi vitu, why is this small thing disturbing you? Why are you acting so weak? This is the thing that is breaking you. Surely, like, other people have gone through worse, other people have lost you, what other people have done. Why are you constantly batting and pitching me against other people? Never understood that. So I think in that particular case, I think it's important for us to teach each other from a young age emotional regulation, and try as much as we can to encourage each other to develop these coping mechanisms on our own, such that we don't depend on others to give us that pep talk, to either give us that push to keep going, or to be seen as this weak, like, you can't do it. Like, why are you not just go and do it? Like, what's your problem? Why are you just laying here and expect, you know?
And also sometimes just the stereotypes the society has put out. For example, with masculinity, men are stoic, men are not emotional, men are strong, men are not, and they forget that we are human beings. Like, I can be this and this, it doesn't mean that I lack this, or just because I am more in touch with my feminine side does not make me gay or queer or anything. And even with femininity, you find that you're told a woman is this, a woman is soft, a woman is resilient, a woman, her second name is compromise. So you're trying to fit into that role, but the more you're in it, the more you're like, hey, this is not for me. And because sometimes of those stereotypes that have been put forth, you find like 40-year-old with like the emotional capacity of a rock, because they just know men are supposed to be like this. They don't even have the vocabulary to communicate their feelings. They can't tell they're frustrated. They always say they're angry. They can't tell if, like, I'm sad.
You can't
They're always,
emotion. Yeah.
I'm depressed. No, you're not depressed. Maybe you're a bit frustrated about something. You may be sad about something, but you look at it and the root cause is the way people were brought up. You were brought up thinking this and this and this and this. And even right now, like having a child, you always find yourself correcting all the time, because you'll be like, oh, I'm so sad. I was so sad today at school. I was like, oh, okay, what happened? And then like, oh, that's not sadness. You were just a bit frustrated with what so-and-so was doing. That's not sadness. Because sometimes if you let it, it's going to be the story they're going to sing. That's the only emotion they know. Sadness, happiness. So now you have to diversify the language, or they're just going to grow up and then it's going to grow into
everything you're unhappy with.
I'm so depressed. No, you're not depressed. You're probably hungry. Like, have you probably dehydrated? It's not
a nap?
It's not depression. You've not drunk water. You're dehydrated. Go drink some water, have a nap, wake up, no headache, please.
But sometimes it's really actually truly anxiety and depression, but you have like really tried to suppress it and deal with it inwardly, but it ends up exploding inward. Okay, when it explodes inward, it's an issue of you're not well. You're starting to get anxious, you're starting to get like panic attacks, you're starting to get these overly aggressive or overly exaggerated expressions of things, simply because you don't know how to express it and you've been suppressing it for so long. Now it's bottled up into this really huge deal. What you need to do is start to find systems for yourself. The same way we have tools like the love languages, where you're like, okay, this is what I like in a partner. I like it when a partner does A, B, C, D, E. You need to also find tools for yourself that can help you figure out how to deal with those internal things, right? I see people saying, oh, they like going for kickboxing, or they like going for a jog, or they like, going to the gym as a way of coping with all that built up and pent up energy, right? In the same way, some people are softer. They like to journal, they like to watch movies. I sit down and watch a movie, girl. I will sit down and listen to some music for 3 hours. Just making noise, screaming in the car. That helps me deal with my internal issues, and it stops me from holding, and then eventually release is not outward, it's inward, right? People become so passive aggressive, and you're like, what's wrong with you? It's they're dealing with so much stuff that they've not been dealing with. So try and find a way to hopefully and helpfully express your emotions in different times.
And the environments we're in most of the time can really add on to this pressure.
Girl.
So like pressure from work. At work, you need to perform, you need to stay ahead. Everyone is always coming in with new ideas. There's always fresher talent coming in. As in,
especially
things
that.
are moving. You always have to stay ahead constantly. As in, you just can't sit and stay like that. You're going to be redundant so quickly. So there's that. At work, you need to perform. You need to come in and do the best you can do. Then you get home, the expectation from your family. Your wife needs this, your child needs this, you need this. Your uncle has been eaten by a crocodile. As in, there's so much pressure. Umeko kwa WhatsApp group. Oh, so and so is having a wedding. Why are you having a wedding if you can't do a wedding by your own? You're inviting other people. The pressure when your uncle in Nairobi, you have to come through. Also, after that, societal pressure. You're hanging out with your friends are now in the stage where they're building houses, they're looking into retirement, they're buying their second car. There's the starter car that all of you have. Now they're getting into their second car, luxury, and you're still like fighting for your life. You're like, hey, what is happening? You turn around, your friends on this side are building their parents' houses now. Like life is good, they're making investments, but you still feel like a child. And I'm like, hey, what's all this? All of this pressure and all of this need for you to be strong can be very overwhelming. Because you still want to show up.
Yep.
I still want to be able to hang out with my friends, because if I drop the ball one too many times, they're also going to drop me. Because there's no way I also want to be friends with somebody who never has their life together. Somebody who's still, they're constantly struggling. You're like, hey, what's going on? All of us are progressing, but you just don't seem to be getting it. Like, it's not clicking for you. At some point, they're going to drop you. They may not do it in your face. It's just going to be very gradual and very organic too, because you're also not in the same spaces anymore. So that pressure. Unaingia social media, unapata mtu amenunua gari, whereby you're scrapping coins to get into a matatu. It can be a lot. But here's the thing. Go with your pace. Just trust the process. Even if the process is not trusting you, it's like you're not in the same room with the process. Just trust it. It's gonna come.
Yeah, another one I think is also what you consume online,
Yeah.
media representation. Oftentimes, when you think you have a problem, you go online and you realize, girl, I'm not the only person going through that. Someone else has gone through that and has given me the whole script of how that went down, right? So I think it's important for us to also try and mirror those. Try and find spaces online that actually do or are going through the same spaces, the same pressures and life situations and points in life that you're at, and try and replicate what they did if they succeeded, or try and steer off what they did if they failed. At the end of the day, there's always someone telling you how to do something online. You're struggling with being a father and being in touch with your child simply because, my father didn't love me, he was never home. Yeah, alikuwa anakuja na newspaper na keti chini na amekuja na mkate na maziwa ya asubuhi. How do I then show up for my children? There's someone online who probably has like a 3-step or 10-step program on how to help you with that. You're trying to go back to being in the gym or trying to practice mindfulness and meditate and whatever. There are like 10,000 people already who are doing the same exact thing online. Go find them, listen to what they're saying and learn from them. Or you're trying to better yourself financially because, my mother didn't teach me how to save money. We lived our lives hand to mouth. Go and find people who are teaching people how to be financially literate. Like, why do you have to sit down in your problems and assume that nobody else can help you? Sometimes the solution doesn't come from within, and that's the biggest hoax of it all. People lie to you and tell you, you're strong, you'll figure it out. But sometimes you really just don't know how to figure it out. So find other people who figured it out or are trying to figure it out and lead that journey with them. All right? The information is out there. You just need to go looking.
True. There's no new experience.
Absolutely.
Like, you could type what you're going through word for word on Reddit.
You're gonna find
It's gonna
someone
pop
who
up.
went
Like, you ain't special. Like,
through- unfortunately. You think you're unique.
you're not unique.
You're not.
Your problems, you feel like this is the end. Like, it couldn't get worse. unaingia online unapata indeed in
It
fact
did.
get so all we're saying is find the mechanisms for things to work for you. Like there's so many resources, as Kathomi said. Get online, as in online can be the best and the worst place for you. It depends on how you use it. Either you're going to consume horrible content, or you're going to use those resources to figure out how to get to the next step. If you're thinking of getting into something, starting something, ingia kuna YouTube tutorials. Like people have been there, done that. Find a way to make it better. You find a process somewhere, you find a product here, find a way to make it better, make it your own. We're telling you this because it's also the same reality for us. As in, we are always trying to be the better versions of ourselves. Every day you wake up and you're trying to do something better. Every day you wake up in the morning, your problems are just in your face. But am I going to sit on the bed and just do nothing? No, I need to wake up. If I can't solve it right now, I'm going to be doing something else as I'm doing that. I'm going to be doing my 10K steps as I figure out. Sometimes go for a run, you know, have some water, start eating right. Yeah. Be willing to break the cycle is my conclusion.
Yeah, and I think honestly, in my opinion, is just be careful of not comparing. Like there's the thief of joy is comparison. Just don't do it. It's hard. Don't do it. And sometimes it's even I think of, yes, you're probably going through the same thing as the person who you're comparing notes with. So that makes it even worse sometimes. They're like, "Ay, akuna solution huku. Wow, tuko wapi huku." So yeah, please try and find your way out, but you don't have to do it alone, and you don't have to do it with all the knowledge that you think you have, because nobody knows everything under the sun, right? Find resources. That's our show. My name's Kathomi. See you tomorrow.
My name is Turife. See you tomorrow. Bye.